From the commercial city of Onitsha comes Udala Radio 104.7 FM, the voice of the region. Where authentic news and entertainment meet. Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
Okay, thank you for staying tuned to the Radio 104.7 FM. Of course, it's time for us to change the gears and bring you development in the polity, in the area of politics, governance, and other things. And that's why we are saying welcome to the polity on the Radio 104.7 FM Onitsha. It's a Thursday edition this December 11, 2025. And we're glad to have you on the other side while we bring you these very stories. My name is Franklin Ebuka, and today, Chisom Chinedu makes it with Ise Boroboro. Good morning, Chisom.
God, I beg you. Franklin, good morning to you. Ise Boroboro has been there since when now? Are you just saying
maybe it's quite obvious this very morning. Maybe.
Seriously, bro.
Maybe it's quite obvious this very morning. It's like he did some torches here and there.
Okay. Good morning, Franklin. Good morning, Nigerians. Welcome to the Polity.
So, do you have anything to confess?
Confess?
Yes. Check if you have any other thing to confess.
I am trying to remember.
All your atrocities.
Atrocities?
Yes. Tell the world. Tell the world.
None I can think of at the moment.
Okay. Okay, so let's take it that very way. She couldn't think of anything at this point, but I can think of many. Yes.
On my behalf?
Oh, yes, on your behalf.
Interesting.
Yes, I speak on your behalf, okay? Maybe by the time I begin to read out some of the things that have developed in the polity, her name might come in or it might not come in, all right? So a lot has happened, and we have to begin from home just to give you like a rundown of things that happened in the past 24 hours. And I must tell you that in Anambra State here, coming from Oka to Onitsha this very morning, I saw an accident scene that seemed to be very devastating. You know, I saw a Sienna vehicle that was mangled. So I don't know what happened, but all I could see is that I saw the mangled Sienna inside a bush, likewise a petrol tanker inside a bush. But the Sienna was badly damaged. That's mostly between Nogu and the Barren Junction. That's where they happen. In fact, as I was coming this very morning, I met truck trying to see how they can pull off things from that very area. And that tries to bring me to the reason, to the issue about safety during this very period. You know that along that Enugu-Onitsha Expressway is a one lane because work is ongoing on the other side. So people drive on one lane, whether you are heading to Oka or heading to Enugu, or whether you are coming to Onitsha and going to Sabah, you are driving on that very one lane. And people who drive on that very road should be extremely careful. If you want to overtake, make sure that the road is quite clear before you overtake. Yesterday, going back to Oka, okay, not yesterday, 2 days ago, going back to Oka, we also met an accident scene somewhere not too far away from where this one happened. So we want every one of us to be extra careful, know that once you're on the road, you have to drive extremely careful. As a driver, as you're driving for yourself, you are driving for others because there are many madmen on the road. So that's why we have to be very, very careful while driving.
You know, when you asked if I want to confess anything, I don't know if I told of this maybe a day after I saw it. But last week, Saturday, I witnessed something on the expressway going to Army Gate. I don't know if I mentioned it already. A bus driver hit someone. He knocked someone down, slowed down a bit, and sped off again. it's inconsequential whether the person was sane at the right place, at the wrong place, and whatever time the person was there. But the point is, a lot of people on the road, especially this season, they've lost it. For them, it's all about the target. It's all about making ends meet, and so you have to be extra careful. Then also, I saw something on my way to work this morning.
So now you're confessing.
Yes, now I am confessing. So around Ekene Junction, the gutter before. How do I explain? You know that place doesn't have a properly constructed roundabout, but it should have been so, right?
Yes.
Now, the part going to MCC, there is a V-shaped gutter there.
Exactly.
People have turned it into a dumpster. Now, this is my cue to call on the local councils in this area. Waste disposal is still a major problem, all right? And I'd like to think that no sane society would have a proper waste disposal system and still prefer to dump in waterways. But that's not even the craziest part. Someone put a full-blown goat, or maybe I don't know, a pig or something. But from the head of the creature or the animal was inside a bako bag, and then the other half towards the tail was outside. So I cannot tell exactly which animal it is. But someone put a full-blown dead animal in there. It's fresh, and it's only a matter of hours, tops 24, before that place starts to ooze, and it's already smelling. The entire area is already smelly. So when we talk about Onitsha being one of the dirtiest cities in Nigeria, West Africa, it is you and I making Onitsha a dirty city. And that's why I'm calling on all partners, the government on the angle of proper waste disposal support, and the people on being disciplined with proper waste disposal.
Okay, so let me shock you. Just go to DMGS now. Look at that gutter there.
I know what you're talking about.
People have turned into a toilet.
I don't even know if it's... There's even a man who I don't think I think he's mentally challenged a bit. He burns it sometimes. He just comes, gather them into the gutter and set them on fire.
Now, the one I'm talking about it's not refused. Just go there. Like this very morning, people have turned into a toilet where if you go there, you see a human excreta inside that very gutter. I keep on asking myself, because I'm just wondering who leaves his house and think that's where he can defecate is inside that very gutter. I don't know. So each time keep on talking about government doing what it's supposed to do. We the followers, who are being led, are we responsible enough to do things the right way? Are we doing what we're supposed to do, or at every point in time we blame government for every challenge we have? It's just a question that we're asking, and we want to prick your mind, hoping that you'll be able to, ask your conscience some questions and be able to give the answers at the right way. The other developments we have seen across Nigeria. Yesterday, there was this very rumor that circulated that former governor of Anambra State was abducted by unknown people in Abuja. But later, we saw a clarification that came from his former media aide, Fred Chukwulobe, who said that he wasn't abducted. Rather, it was EFCC that came and took him away. And according to him, that he is in the custody of EFCC to answer some questions. So for now, we do not know what the allegations are or what the charges are, but all we can confirm that from what Fred said is that he is in the custody of the EFCC. Then in Anambra State here, 2 days ago, the State House of Assembly passed for second reading what we call the Anambra State Taxes, Levies and Presumption Tax Approved List for Collection Bill of 2025. Now, what is this bill all about? The government wants to close all the leakages, through which it lost IGR. Government wants to increase its IGR base, but this time around, it's not thinking about increasing what people pay as IGR. Rather, government wants to reform to be in tandem with what is going on at the federal level. They want to harmonize all the taxes and at the same time ensure that people stop using the crude way in driving IGR. And by some provisions in this very law, by the time it's passed, it becomes an offense for anybody to go to the road and use crude way to enforce tax compliance, like Indiana block uso, Indiana 2x2. By the time this law is passed, all those things are going to become prohibited by the virtue of this very law. Now, if we're going to go to the federal level, of course, yesterday we saw Mr. President where he reiterated his ban, or where he, not banned this time around, his order that all the policemen attached to VIP should be recalled. It was that same day when he was making that iteration that Senate was sitting, and people were complaining that how could orderlies attached to them be withdrawn, whereas they were seeing musicians and others who still have police orderlies attached to them. And they're asking, what kind of double standard is this? Perhaps by the time we begin conversations, Tony might have answers to these very questions that have been raised by some Nigerians and also the senators who spoke yesterday at the floor of the Senate. And at this point in time, we have to bring in Tony this very morning. Good morning, Tony Olisa Mbeki.
Good morning, Franklin, Ebuka. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, the good people of Southeast. Good morning, Udala. Good morning, Onitsha. Good morning, Dosumohu. Wherever you are listening to us from, it's always a pleasure to be here. Just like we do it every day, we try as much as we can to profess the truth. We are back in the sanctuary to look at some of these developing stories, to let you know things you should know, where these things are happening, why they are happening, stories behind them, and all you need to know to be in the know at all time. Once you are locked down here, you are always in the know. It's a pleasure to be here. Just like we always say, we must appreciate God. We must give God all glory, honor, adoration for His mercy, for all He has been doing. If not that, we would not may have been here. You are welcome. And then I heard when you guys were talking about the environmental issue somewhere around the DMJs roundabout and then some other places. We have been talking about open defecation is a problem, especially in the sub-Saharan Africa, and its records and its tallies keeps increasing every time, and we're seeing reasons behind some of these things. Absence of public toilets facilities, and at the same time some people have taken these places to be the safe place for them to put out this excreta, and it is something government must come in, because one thing we know is that it poses environmental hazard. And sometimes some of these airborne infections, they spread it from one node to the other. So it is not encouraging. And it is something we must find measures to stop. Yes, there were times Osha Brigade started the issue of ensuring that people do not urinate indiscriminately. Not anytime, anywhere you see yourself. But then, what about sensitization? They campaign on that. How do you sensitize the people? Because sometimes when you begin clamp down, people will get worried about the whole exercise. But once you begin sensitization, put a deadline before you know it, you begin a clamp down. So why you go after those who either urinate indiscriminately, those who defecate also, they're of concern because they do it mostly at night or early morning when you may not even see them. So they do it early in the morning. So how do you go after them when you know they do it early in the morning or late at night?
So people who do this, does it mean that they do not have toilets in their homes? Or maybe they were on their way to somewhere and they became pressed and they thought that the best thing to do is to go to the gutters and deposit?
It's a combination of the two. One, there are many homeless people. There are wanderers, people who may not have any home. They move from one place to the other, and sometimes they do these things the way they want. In fact, there are those who, once they are pressed, they look for where they can just eat themselves. But we need to also make arrangement for public toilet system, and people can.
Tony, I quite agree with you. There is need for us to have this public toilet system whereby people can commonly go in and ease themselves. But I will tell you that there are things that one will become conscious of. I can recall one experience I had, trying to travel from Onitsha Road to Owerri State. I had barely boarded a bus when I had stomach upset. I had hardly boarded. The next thing was, that kind of sweat that fill your body that you became uncomfortable. And the bus just moved for less than 5 minutes. And I had to excuse myself, please, can you just stop me? Carry your money, they go. Guess what? I walked into a petrol station. I said, please, can I use your toilet? And guess what? I was granted the access to use the toilet. No charge. Last time I got to Mpo Junction and I was asking some questions, I got to find out that at Mpo Junction, there are public toilets there. I went to Oka. There's this very new park they built in Oka around that Emeka Anyako Boulevard, the one that leads to the new government house. That park there has excellent toilet facilities. But people will still leave it and still make use of the gutters. Yes, there is a gap. But how do we now get to talk to ourselves to know that, first of all, you need to ask questions, you need to attempt to do the right thing, because that's the basic thing.
I think it's one of the pillars or enablers of Soludo's government, law and order. There are people who are orderly there. In fact, they are disordered. In fact, in many ways, they believe that here in Onitsha, especially, not in Oka, in Onitsha, you can do anything and walk away with it. They don't have any sense of sanity. Just look at the way they drive around here. And by the time government comes heavy on these people, the same set of people will be complaining that this government is so high-handed. People are disorderly here, and there is need for that sense of civility to be entrenched in their psyche. The psyche is you are here to make money either by hook or crook. That's the psyche here. And by the way they go about businesses here, and it depicts the same. So what government needs to do, one, begin campaign on sanity. Indiscipline is thriving because we know we have a conglomeration of people from different parts of the country here, all in a bid to make money. So they drive recklessly, they defecate indiscriminately, they urinate indiscriminately, dirtiness, traffic rule that was actually introduced. Many of them defy it, but I think that one is sinking now to an extent. But the key thing is government will keep on pushing to bring that sanity. Bring in sanity, and you can't bring in sanity without punishing deterrent those who keep on doing these things. And heavy fines. These are ways government can make money. Heavy fines on some of these people, but the approach should be civil. You know, you don't go all out in a Gestapo style to just get those who may offend these public and then possibly environmental rules. You must find a civil way of combating, dealing with these things decisively. We cannot just continue as we are talking about urinating indiscriminately, defecating indiscriminately, driving recklessly. There should be a campaign, and it should be something that a department or part of sector or ministry should carry it on. Go around to these parks where these people stay, Keke Park, Tricycle Park, or P-Worker, these areas, sensitize them. And while you are sensitizing them, you are clamping down on them.
The good thing, the good thing about these things is that you see people who do all these things, when they want to do it, they go far away from where they live to do it, because they know that if they do it around where they live, it's going to mess up the environment. So they go far away. So it tells you that sometimes I need fear sananya when I may find them.
Everybody know what's in them they do.
Okay, so we're going to look at the paper, but before then, just to let you know that we are live on our Facebook page, Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Get to that very page, share the videos, drop your comments, and also on Instagram and the YouTube, we are Udala Radio. Get interactive on those platforms. Let's get to a few posts. We have 4 newspapers to look at this morning, but before then,
you're listening to the Polity. Get involved now.
Okay, so we have a Tribune newspaper, we have The Nation, we have The Guardian, and the Punch newspaper. And we're beginning with the headlines on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. The banner headline says, Tinubu insists on withdrawal of police escort from VIPs. You can see the story on page 3. He has a rider, directs minister to contact IJP, gets presidential clearance when necessary. Senators raise questions over the directive. Another headline there says, first commercial flight lands in Ekiti Airport. The story is on page 5. Adebayo, Fayoshe, Fayemi, Oni, others, Lord Oyebanji. It seems like Naanek's airport Nakanaka in Nigeria, because it seems like it's now a competition where every state is now attempting to have an airport. In the southeast now, there's no state again without an airport.
I think there is one. Abia State.
Yes, Abia. I bet they are on the verge of building one now.
They have not, until we see one.
Yes, but others have airports. If you go to Delta State, Naikiti, even as far away Castina, even states that it will, maybe in some states it might even take like more than 1 year before one aircraft lands there. But everybody is doing airport. Okay, let's see. Somebody will tell you it's part of development. So let's see how much of development it gets to bring to these very states who have been sinking money into building airports. Now, from that very story we have on the Tribune newspaper, let's look at another headline we have on the front page of that very paper. And the headline says, protesting truck drivers block Ogere for hours, causing traffic on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The story is on page 15. Alleged 2.4 billion naira fraud. FG arraigns ex-aviation minister Stella Odua. Check page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. Osun 2026, Tinubu meets APC governorship aspirant. The story is on page 5. It has a rider, insists on party supremacy. Candidates may emerge through consensus. Omishore absent at meeting. In fact, from what I read this very morning from another source, the candidates have already agreed that it's going to be by consensus. So anybody who emerges will become the party's consensus candidate. But it's quite interesting that Omishore, former deputy governor of that very state, was disqualified on the ground that he failed to meet the requirements needed for him to be cleared. So I don't know if they have any already anointed candidate for that very ticket. That's the story we have on the Nigerian Tribune. And that story says Army kills Turuji top lieutenant. Okay, let's retake it. Army kills Turuji's top lieutenant Kalamu in Sakoto operation. The story is on page 15. Insecurity, crippling economy, discouraging investors. Can President lament? It's on page 15. Heavy energy drink may pose serious stroke risk. Doctors warn. The story is on page 4. Maybe I should retake this very one. Heavy energy drink may pose serious stroke risk. Doctors warn. And above the nameplate, Adeleke emerges Accord Party candidate for 2026 Ogun Guba race. After revision of fourth quarter of 2025 issuance calendar, CBN auctions 750 billion naira treasury bills. And the last headline from the Tribune says, analysts decry structural gaps in Nigeria's financial regulatory architecture. Check page 6 of the Tribune newspaper.
Right, let's go to the front page of the Nation newspaper. Some of the stories here. The major headline: Tinubu directs payment of 1.5 trillion naira debt to local contractors. That story is on page 4. It has a rider: Interministerial panel to fix payment delay. More patronage for indigenous firms. 11 officers on board Nigerian Air Force jet freed in Burkina Faso. The rider here says the ECOWAS ministers no room for coup on page 6. Oyebamiji is set to become Osun APC consensus candidate on page 4. I will win on a court platform, says Adeleke. Oh well, fingers crossed. It's about the people now and not the party. If only we do things the right way. Release report of my husband's autopsy. Ex-governorship candidate's widow cries out on page 7. And federal government states partners unite to tackle rot in education on page 15. Sustainability. It's not about uniting, plunging in funds. What are we doing to maintain the existing system? How many schools have functional and accessible libraries? By functional, I mean updated libraries that are updated on the go. I mean, not just with hard copies, soft copy books, working systems. The world is going digital. Are we even embracing that? Erujakbo Dixon set to dump PDP. This story is on page 4. Deputy Governor eyes the receipt. Only competition will drive down airfares, says Keyamo on page 6. Well, I was going to say the common man has no business with this, so last. Frankly, 300 and something came from Abuja to Anambra this December.
The life of a common man might change at any time. You know, it's quite astonishing. Chisom, I can remember that should be about, was that 4 or 5 years ago? I paid 25,000 to move from Enugu to Abuja.
2019 flight from Asaba to Lagos. 29,000.
And now we're doing about 300,000.
Final headline here. Military Tantita join forces against all thieves in Ondo on page 5. And finally again on page 6, Makinde okays 55 billion naira for road construction rehabilitation.
So I'm wondering what is going to become the fate of former Governor of Bayelsa State Dixon if he joins the APC, because when Doyodure joined APC, he made a critical comment about that, saying that there was no need for anybody to leave the PDP and move to the APC. And now we have it on report that he is planning for him to move into the APC. Is he seeing any other thing different from what he didn't see before, Tony?
Most politicians, have told you many times, they lack integrity, and many of them lack ideology. And probably it wasn't convenient for him at the time. And people speak mostly, if something is not convenient for them, they try to either tell you why it is not good, morally, spiritually, and what have you, because it is not convenient for them or it's not going to benefit them at that time. But once it becomes convenient for you, they will tell you why it's good. So as against whether he has seen anything different, it's obvious. It's obvious. Remember, he was not in support of Dixon moving to APC. He was not in support, and he expressed that many times, and he has come so hard on defectors. Now he's going to be one of the defectors from the look of things. So what has changed? Nothing has changed. It's just to tell you how chameleonic most politicians are. They don't sit or sink or even sell on their ideology. They don't do those things.
Okay.
It's a politics of convenience. That's the kind of politics.
Okay. And the likes of basically, they have been pushing that anybody who defects from one party to the other should lose his or her seat. But now, of course, that we need to get the blessings of the National Assembly before that can see the light of the day. That means it could be done on arrival.
Isn't that supposed to even be how it is? It is. I mean, look at the fact that we are told that political parties run election and not the candidates. And that's why you go to the ballot. What you see is the political party symbol, right? And not the candidate's name or the candidate's face. And at the end of the day, you ride on this vehicle, you get to a destination, and then this is not the kind of vehicle you just jump out of.
What do you just call it now? You call it a vehicle, right?
But you get to the station, you stay inside it.
You can disembark anytime.
No, this is not the kind of vehicle you're allowed to disembark from. But unfortunately, they do. And what does it leave us with? The kind of democracy we have, where people are busy chasing selfish ideologies. Not ideologies. Somebody said they don't have ideologies. Selfish goals. No ideologies, nothing democratically backing what they do.
When the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Unoemo, when he defected or when he was watering the ground for him to defect, he made an analogy saying that if you bought an aircraft and it has a problem, you have to disembark. So that is the mindset they are operating with, that I can use this, get onto what I want, and then switch to where they think that largesse are being shared. Let's look at the headlines we have on the Gather newspaper. The banner headline says 54 taxes charges account for 35% of airfare cost, stifle traffic demand. The story is on page 6. Kano lawyers petition Tinubu NSA over parallel Sharia body. Check page 20 of the Gather newspaper. Nigeria's capital market losing $60 million to crypto. Other virtual assets. The story is on page 16. Human Rights Day 2025 concerns as Nigeria's worsening rights crisis prompts call for reform. Human Rights Day was yesterday, and guess what? ECOWAS was saying that Nigeria accounts for the highest number of court judgments not respected. It doesn't speak good for Nigeria. Ekiti spent 49.7 billion naira to build cargo airport, says Oyebanji. 49.7 billion to build cargo airports. The story is on page 5. FG arraigns Telodua others on alleged 2.4 billion naira fraud. Check page 20. Obasanjo tax leaders on stronger institutions for national development. Check page 30. What is this tendency that once a leader leaves office, he becomes an orator and he begins to speak to us in a manner that he didn't even try to leave when he was in power? Because Obasanjo talking about institutions, you keep on wondering, under Obasanjo, yes, he set up the likes of EFCC and co. But how did he preserve the sanctity of those institutions that today he's going from one place to the other to preach about how to build institutions? And then we look at this very headline that says, Buhari will account for 2015 Zaria massacre on Judgment Day, says El Zakizaki. I don't know where he's going to see him on that Judgment Day, or are they going to meet anywhere? Then Tinubu reaffirms police withdrawal from VIPs, mobilizes security, livestock reforms. The story is on page 3. FG sets up panel on 4 trillion naira outstanding old contractors. It's on page 7. And the last story on the front page says optimism as FG anticipates Nigeria's exit from CPC list. That should be on page 3 of the Ghana newspaper.
Let's go to the Punch now. Banner headline here: FG pushes for 17.89 trillion naira new loans to finance 2026 budget. This is on page 2. Borrowing jumps 72% as revenue dips by 8.67 trillion naira. Debt servicing took up nearly half of 2026 earnings. ECOWAS court: Nigeria tops countries ignoring judgments on page 12. Senate screens more ambassadorial nominees on page 14. Oshun 2026, Adeleke confident of victory after a court ticket win on page 18. And right beside that, alleged fraud, ex-minister Stella Odua reigned barred from foreign trips on page 12. What is it? Again, I join my voice with yours. With politicians leaving office and the probe starts, what happens to having a system that probes on the go, that checks and actually balances? I mean, it was Desiani Alison Madeke, and this is not playing a gender card here. However, there have been women with integrity who've really handled several offices in this country. And when, conversations like this come up and people play the gender card, I'm like, men do it all the time. I'm not interested in whether a woman does it or not, or which gender does the whole fraud thing. I am just curious to find out where we run a system that leaves these people open to doing what they want. Tell me, what is recovered at the end of the day?
Or even what even stopped it from building system that will stop people from stealing our money? Because it's like a culture that once someone leaves an office and we want to become diligent in probing, there must be some infractions or financial malfeasance linked to them. Look at Malami when he was in power. Mm-hmm. He was the lord of everything. And now he has a case with EFCC where EFCC has told him that he needs to be coming to the EFCC headquarters for 30 days every day to answer questions. And they said he has a series of bank accounts that he was involved in terrorism financing, diversion of money. So you keep on wondering, why is it that very way? Why do we always leave loopholes for these people to exploit? And by the time they are out of office, because at the end of the day, the case might linger for years and it ends up at nothing. Take, for instance, the Stella Odua case. It began in 2014. And this is 2025.
I was barely an undergraduate. I remember even using that case for a debate. You can imagine. Okay. Okay, now let's go to the next story. U.S. Congress panels talk tough over Nigeria IDP crisis on page 7. Tinubu tackles VIP police escort abuse. Shoyinka falls Shei's entourage on page 14. FG opens diplomatic talks with Burkina Faso over detained aircraft soldiers on page 7. PDP chaos. Wike Makinde forces revive war over next nod. This is on page 2. Has a rider. Let's see if I can make this out. 30 states chairman, NAS heavyweights rally behind Turaki's leadership. That's on page 2 of the Punch newspaper, and that's the last story on the front page.
Okay, so these are the headlines we have this very morning. Of course, we have to begin our analysis on some of the topical developments. You stay with us. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Polity. Get involved now.
Yes, you are listening to The Polity on Udala Radio 104.7 FM. It's 9:49 a.m. My name is Franklin and Chisom and Olisa Mbeki. We are ready for today's conversation. Don't forget we are live on our Facebook page, Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Drop your comment there, and at the same time, share the video. We'd like you to share that very video. For our YouTube channel, we'd like you to subscribe so that whenever we post our video, you'll be able to get a notification. It costs you no money to subscribe. Just go to the subscription button, click on it, of course. Boom, you are on there. Once we post a video, you get notifications so that you'll be able to catch up on what you missed. So, Tony, let's begin with what happened yesterday before the FEC meeting started. It was the President Bola Tinubu, who reinforced his order to pull police officers off VIPs and return them to core policing. Like I said, that he did this before the FEC meeting that held yesterday in Abuja. And I want to take a quotation from what he said. He said, I honestly believe in what I said. It should be effected. If you have any problem because of the nature of your assignment, contact the IGP and get my clearance. His statement comes a day after the Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka, publicly called out his son, Sheyi, for going about with a large retinue of security details. Yeah, we'll come back to what this very person said, talking about what Soyinka said. Let's just finish with what Mr. President said so that we can understand how serious he is with this. Now, Tinubu directed the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, and Department of State Services to issue further guidance and ensure the directive was effected. According to him, the NSA and DSA should provide further information and form themselves the committee and review the structure. He went further to direct the Minister of Interior, Dr. Lubimi Tunjoju, to liaise with IGP and the National Security and Civil Defense Corps to immediately replace withdrawn escorts so you don't leave people exposed. Now, Tony, Mr. President reinforced this very order. We know that it was November when he made that very order, and the IGP responded saying that they were going to carry out the order. At the point initially, we were thinking that about 100 and something thousand policemen were going to be withdrawn. But later, IGP said about 11,000 plus were withdrawn. And Nigerians were asking questions, is that all? And later, we were seeing a report that VIPs are still moving around with their police escorts. And yes, the president said, even ministers, even senators are not spared. That policemen should be withdrawn from them, and then they should get operatives of NSCDC for protection. What is the president driving at? Somebody is trying to read his mind, saying it simply means that it seems the president is trying to, appeal to the conscience of the political class. Try to feel what the common man feels for once, and see whether you are going to change in your ways. Perhaps if any of you has a tie with insecurity, let's see whether they are going to repent. So what are you thinking about this hammering Mr. President has been given on that his order that it must be obeyed to letters and nobody should be spared?
I think, most times if the table turns, you will see those who are protected, who feel privileged, singing the same song the vulnerables are singing, irrespective of the intention of whether Mr. President wants it this way or the other. We know what brought this was as a result of insecurity, largely festered by politicians because they have a hand in insecurity going on in the country. Most times, if you have money, you don't feel that vibe, spending your money, or more like having fun outside the country. Nigeria is a country where you can get anything you want with your money. Yes. Out there in the United Kingdom, in Germany, UK, and some other places, if you have money, nobody cares. Nobody knows. There are things you don't move around. There are some state architecture. There are some state assets you don't move around with. Police is a state asset. If you can, I swear, call it liability. But there are state structures. There are state elements. There are state properties you don't move around with to show class, to show you have belonged or you are there. Well, that's what kind of thing we see in Nigeria. But Mr. President, because of the festering insecurity in the country, has given a directive, and he said ministers are not spared. Everybody's not spared. Let them feel the heat. These are people who are in position of leadership in a true decisions can shape the governance of this country. But because they don't feel what the ordinary person, ordinary man feels, so it will not come to them. Their families are protected. In fact, when you have your family members protected, in fact, where your daughter, your sons have police escorts, then how then do you make laws for someone who has none? It is somehow impracticably not sinking. That is why if we can extend this, ban politicians and from sending their words abroad for school, it can't just stop with issue of security. If you are holding any public office, there should be a legislation, not a rule. A legislation that while you are in that public office, you must declare if any of your children is outside the country studying, you must declare it, and you will be prevented from sending any to any university outside the country while you are holding a public office. That is 2. Then number 3, medical tourism. Mr. President may be affected because we are trying to sanitize. While you are holding a public office, on no account should you be conveyed outside the country for medical tourism. Let's develop what we have. Let's build our structures. Those medical experts in UK, in France, in United States of America, in Canada, they can be brought down here. If we begin this culture of developing what we have, I tell you, Nigeria will be a better place. Why Nigeria is a place the way it is, the way the country is, because these people who are in governance, these people who shape decisions, they have it outside the country. They can make they make their money here, spend outside the country, helping the economies of these countries without in any way helping the Nigerian economy. The foreign reserve we have, do you know how much Nigeria spends on medical tourism yearly? Do you know how much the country spends on education outside the country yearly? The money we spend on education outside the country yearly is 3 times more than the annual budget for education for the whole of Nigeria. The 3 times more than the annual budget for education. So what it means that money we use it to develop these schools. The tuition fees, whatever you pay, if like because for you to do any degree outside the country, you pay around $20,000. Convert $20,000, just one person, and that dollars must be sourced locally. You source the dollar locally, you give them. At the end of the day, see, let's be honest, there are so many things that are going wrong in this country. The people, their security have been withdrawn. They are just feeling pained. And many of them understand that through their decisions, through their actions, through their inactions, we get ourselves to where we are. They are not thinking of their mistakes. They are not. I support Mr. President on this one. Yes, every security detail. He's not saying you cannot have.
So is there anybody who could be spared? Like, talking about who are those people who are entitled naturally to police protection? Take, for instance, because the first family has come into play now. Being the president of Nigeria, the family members of Mr. President, are they entitled to police protection? Because we have seen videos of the first family's son, Sheikh Tinubu, going in convoy of security orderly. Are they entitled to this? After the break, we'll talk about it.
Udala Radio, 104.7 FM. When the city sleeps, the river remembers. When the drums call, Onitsha awakens.
This December, the call grows louder as Udala Radio joins forces with the Golibe Festival 2025. From December 26th to New Year's Day, the heartbeat of the East comes alive. Music, laughter, art, culture, and the unstoppable joy of homecoming. This year promises more energy, more color, more connection. A festival for every proud son and daughter of Igbo land. Stay tuned to Udala Radio, your front row seat to the celebration that never fades. Golibe Festival 2025. Exclusive media support by Udala Radio. It's not just a festival, it's who we are.
Your investment is just one drop. On its own, it can only do so much. Now, imagine 1 million more drops. This is the power of First Asset Money Market Fund and First Asset Dollar Fund. They pool your money with others to create a powerful flow, giving you access to great earning opportunities. Call 0201-889-4444 now to start with 5,000 Naira, $100 or more. Let us build wealth together. The First Asset Money Market Fund and First Asset Dollar Fund are registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission Nigeria. Please read the prospectus and where in doubt, consult your investment advisor, stockbroker, fund or portfolio manager, accountant, banker, solicitor, or any other professional advisor for guidance before subscribing.
Nepa don't take light again. Wetin I fit do? Every day fuel don cost. How person wan take survive? I go cook soup today, tomorrow e go sour.
My people, why you dey stress when the sun dey your head for free? Switch to the affordable solar energy wey Wascana Solar Company dey give small businesses and homes across Naija, whether na barbing salon o, restaurant o, supermarket o, or your 2 or 3 bedroom apartment. Wascana Solar get correct durable solar wey go serve you wella. No more NEPA wahala, no more expensive fuel. Let the sun power your business and home for free. And no forget o, solar fans, solar lights, everything dey available. Call Wascana Solar now for 0806-374-2374. I repeat am, 0806-374-2374 or send email to wascanasolar@gmail.com. Visit their office near Olive Relief after Marble Hill School Junction, Okpanam Road, Asaba, or Classic Line Zone 2, A4 Electrical Dealers International Market, Obosi. Wascana Solar, Okumube.
Golden Promise Fiesta 1.0 2025. Be there at the biggest fiesta of the year. Join us live at Sonia Hotel, Sawite, 153B Eziweka Road, Awado Busi, Onitsha, on the 20th of December 2025 by 5 p.m. till dawn. It'll be a night of unforgettable entertainment, comedy, dance, and thrilling musical performances from Annie Dons, Professor Chikobi, Sawan-on-One Women Leader, Twin Parrots, Abuchi Obusi, and many more. Tickets are available now. Regular 2,000 Naira, VIP 10,000 Naira, VVIP table of 5 persons 500,000 Naira. Get yours at number 1 Ngozi Obago Plaza, 20 Enugu Road, Onitsha, or number 1 Pampam Lane Suite, P25, second floor, Merito Plaza, Main Market, Onitsha, before the tickets sell out. Contact us on the following numbers: 0814-394-2802 or 0808-441-5156. Golden Promise Fiesta 2025, proudly powered by Golden Promise Entertainment, sponsored by Melvin Table Water and Callisto's International Limited. Don't just hear about it, be there.
Merry Christmas from all of us.
Udala, radio
104.7.
now hear the Christmas day sweet past. They ring for the street tonight. Children they dance under Christmas light. Mama they cook jollof, aroma they rise. Yeah. For they smile, joyfully mice. No they for body love they warm. Afro be breathing, happiness don't come. Oh, from Onitsha city to every home. Now celebrate shine, food is on. It's a Udala Christmas. Oh, everybody gather, make we jollof. It's a Udala Christmas. Oh, turn up the music, make it go. Udala, Christmas day sweet for Udala radio. Udala, your number 1 vibes everywhere you go. Light up the tree, let it shine. Let it shine. Love for the season, make we share, make we bind. From morning to night, Udala hold you tight. Now Christmas magic, pure delight. Udala, Udala, Christmas day sweet, oh Udala, Udala, feel the beat, oh. From all of us at Udala Radio. Merry Christmas.
Aro ekeresimesi a wetala anyị aṅụle na obi ụtọ. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from all of us at Udala Radio 104.7 FM, the voice of the region.
Gwam 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 ihe si na ọbụghị naanị ya mụtara nwa a na-apịwa ọnụ.
Ode ale a Udala.
Ika nọkwa n'Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Emetụkwa n'igwe redio aka.
You're listening to The Polity. Get involved now.
Okay, so thank you for staying tuned to the Radio 104.7 FM. You are listening to The Polity. My name is Franklin and Ebuka. With me, I have Olisa Mbeki and Chisom Chinedu, and we've been bringing you developments and analysis on those topical developments in the country. Our Facebook page, Udala Radio 104.7 FM. That's on Facebook page. Don't forget to share this very video. So I asked a question before the break. If you look at the Police Act of 2020 and then police regulations, these two, they spell out people who are entitled to police orderly, and there are specifications. You're going to see the likes of president and vice president, president of the Senate and speaker of the House of Reps. You're going to see governors and deputy governors, chief justice of Nigeria and state chief justices, or rather chief judges. You're going to see federal ministers and commissioners at the state level, judges at the federal and state courts, heads of federal government agencies and parastatals, National Assembly members, usually on request, and in some cases, local government chairmen, where there is security assessment, but is dependent on security assessment. Then if you look at some other sections, they also give the IGP the power to provide protection for persons and property, depending on circumstances. Take, for instance, private citizens with a verified security threat can ask for it and it can be granted. Business persons at major risk can ask for it, it can be granted. Judicial officers and the prosecutors handling dangerous cases can ask for it and it can be granted. These are people who are recognized by the law. But what we have is that anybody, as long as you have money to pay the police, you can ask for police orderly and it can be granted to you. Now, the president has said everybody, he even mentioned ministers, the ministers should do away with police orderly and go for NSCDC. If anybody has any need for police orderly, it should be routed through the IGP and he has to offer clearance before that is done. And the people at the Senate are crying foul. Let's even talk about Mr. President. Is he overreaching his bound by giving directive that even ministers should be stripped?
That we are lawless country. Probably we are trying to regain some level of sanity and come back to the status quo. Because if you look at different laws, the National Security Agencies Act, you also look at even the Police Act, and also the XSS Act, the law that also some of these issues of what you've mentioned, those entitled, the president, the vice president, and if you also look at the judges, and then the vice president, the even former president, those are entitled. But in any case, remember, Atiku, his police orderlies were withdrawn. He said that the plan was against him. That forget all these politicians you are targeting, you are talking about this thing. He is the arrowhead. You are the one who is ensuring that he is not protected to stand your election or possibly contest with you.
So is he entitled as a former vice president?
If you look at it, because if you go by different provisions of the law, you find out that as a former vice president, yes, he is. Because former presidents and their families, they continue to receive security aids under the enumeration of former president and heads of state act. There is an act known as the Remuneration of Former Presidents and Heads of States Act. In fact, that act can also add other ancillary matters. So, in that act, it's also talking about their remuneration and at the same time, security. So, they have maybe security aids. But it is not functions official. But if you look at it, Nigeria is a country where we have these listmen assigned to every Tom, Dick, and Jerry. Of course, it's against the intent, the original intent. Let me, let you know this. If you go to Nigerian president is the most secured president in entire Africa, in fact, in the entire world. Yes, let me tell you, let me shock you. Most presidents in the world and their vice president to go with security, there's no doubt. If you want me, I will start with the United States of America. The president of the United States of America is protected by U.S. Secret Service alone. And that U.S. Secret Service, about 1,500 to about 2,000 uniformed officers are assigned specifically to protect the U.S. president from U.S. Secret Service.
What would you say about Russian president?
I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to come back to that. If you look at United Kingdom, that's the Prime Minister of UK, he's protected by Metropolitan Police Special Escort Group and also parliamentary and diplomatic protection. And then in that escort group, the Prime Minister has about between 100 to 200 officers directly protecting him. That's the Prime Minister of UK.
Protecting him and his family or him alone?
We are talking about him. I'm not talking about his family.
Because we're going to extrapolate.
I'm talking about him. Then if you look at German president, I'm not talking about the Chancellor. Because Germany has a federal president. I know he's protected by Bundespolizei. That is their federal police. About 100 to about 300 officers assigned for close protection. Then if you look at Ghana, the president of Ghana is protected by Presidential Guard Regiment, part of Ghana Armed Forces. And that Presidential Guard Regiment has approximately about between 200 to about 500 personnel directly assigned to protect the Ghanaian president. But most times these officers, they may be drawn from military, ceremonial guard and all that. If you look at Kenyan president, I think he has about 300 to 600 officers directly protecting the president. And that, protection comes from Presidential Escort Unit. It's a unit under Kenyan, police and general service unit. But if you come back to Nigerian president, that's where I want to head, because I don't want to mention other countries. I think if you come back to Nigerian president is protected by Presidential Guard Brigade. That is Army. I talked about it yesterday. Then the State Security Service, the Federal Road Safety Corps, the Presidential Guard Brigade, the SSX, the Navy, Air Force. You can think, if you look at some other countries I mentioned, it's usually from one unit or the other. But here in Nigeria, the Nigerian president is protected by different security agencies. And if you look at it, from the Presidential Guard Brigade, usually Army, they have about almost 5,000 troops. And then if you talk about SSS, between about 1,000 to 2,000 protecting the president. So in all of this.
So Tony, from what you just said now, those people who are raising concern that they have been exposed to dangers, do they have a point, given that the president himself is well protected and all of them, they are all government officials? And then at the same time, I asked a question about the first family. Is the first family entitled to police protection? Okay, we have a president, then his sons, his daughters, the wife, are they entitled to this police protection? Before when I get to what Ningi said yesterday, because Ningi said he has only one police orderly attached to him, and by the way, the man has been in the house in the Senate since 1999, and he's still serving. He said he has only had one, and he had never requested for one, and now he woke up, the one attached to him had been withdrawn, but he went and saw ministers. In fact, there's no need trying to repeat what he said. Let's just hear from Nengi himself.
Absolutely.
Then
we because get to I have a lot of questions.
All right, go.
I cannot ever imagine that a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who has been here for a very long time, only one orderly, and he is withdrawn. I saw 2 convoys of ministers, and they were carrying lots of security personnel. I have also seen business concern, Chinese and other business concern, with the compliments of orderlies. Mr. President, I have also seen daughters and sons of political office holders having orderlies and having security covers. Mr. President, I have seen singers having orderlies and complimentary of protection. Mr. President, I have no problem with that. My problem is that this thing should go across the board.
You're listening to The Polity. Get involved now.
Okay, so Tony, you heard him. He said he has no problem that his security orderly was withdrawn, but it should be across board.
Ningi has just expressed his thought. You know why he's coming out this way is because the one he had was taken away from him. Let's assume that one he had was not taken away from him. Would Abdullah Ningi would have made the same statement he has made? That is one. Then if you go by what the law says, because we are here to look at the law, and just like we have said and extrapolated, we have Police Protection Act, and you did mention of that, and then you listed those who are covered under the Police Protection Act who are entitled to police only, and at the same time you raised the important question: is the president's son, daughter, or family, as we call them, yes, the first family, are they also entitled to police protection? The answer is yes, because it is a core state obligation. They are exempt from the VIP, withdrawal under the current directive, because they are anybody who targets Mr. President can come to the sun. Anybody who wants Mr. President, who targets him for anything, can also target the daughter, the wife, but they are not entitled to orderly, but they are entitled to protection. We must separate these two. I think what Olisa Mbeki was concerned about was orderly.
And the number.
And that's, police protection could be a single policeman following you, ensuring that you're protected. But oddly is when you have a routine or retinue of policemen assigned daily to be following you. No. They are not entitled to police oddly. They are not. But they are entitled to police protection. So we must separate the two. And then the members of the National Assembly, they are not entitled to police oddly. But on demand, they may be protected. Go and read the Police Protection Act. Once the president is saying, once there is any need, not that it is going to come to you by default, we should differentiate the two. The two is one, by default, by the fact that you are a senator, you have police oddly or police, protection. No. It will come as a matter of demand. There will be a need for it. Not by default. Default is about the virtue of the fact we are elected there. Now you have it. No. It is not granted or given a la carte. No. There will be a need. And then once that need is met, but what the president has also added that once you apply to the Inspector General of Police, he brings it to his office for his own approval. So what it means that it is not at the desk of the Inspector General of Police now. It is at the desk of, you make your application to him and then he forwards it to the presidency. The president now gives his imprimatur. Right. So, but that's the way the law functions. But most times the president delegates these duties to the Inspector General of Police without disturbance. But now Tinubu is saying, I'm not delegating anything again. In fact, if you look at firearms, licensing, it's the president that gives. But you have to make your application to the Inspector of Police. But sometimes the president will delegate that role just once you see any need, do. But now Tinubu is saying, no, I'm not delegating anything. It is our law. We are lawless. What the president has done is trying to bring the elements of the law. And it's not also really going well for those who are privileged. But at the same time, people would also tell Mr. President, the people protect their marsh. You have been protected by the Army, Navy, Air Force, DSS, NCDSS, and then even the Road Safety. You are protected by. I don't know if you can also add Archangel.
Okay, Tony. I'd like us to take a look at sincerity of this procedure, because it is one thing for Mr. President to say withdraw all police aids to VVIPs, politicians, and it's another thing for this to truly be adhered to. Yes, the IGP told us over 10,000 of them have been recalled and they're going to be retrained. I'm looking at how they are going to be retrained and when, how soon, so they can actually get into real policing duty, because as it is, all of this was occasioned by the fact that we have a serious security threat on our hands and we had better put all our security resources to useful use. So I am interested in knowing what you think about the sincerity of this procedure. Is everyone abiding? There are rumors in some quarters that VIPs pay some amounts of money and there are a few things done under the cover to retain their security aids. Their police.
Akeso, Onu Jacob.
You get that kind of thing. We know how these things work. So the question is this really sincerely being adhered to? Is there a mechanism put in place? I recall the IGP said, see any such policeman put a call across and he's going to be arrested. Is there truly a mechanism put in place to make sure that this doesn't continue and that every police official is withdrawn? And also, when Franklin asked about security officials attached to children of politicians, Sheyi Tinubu has been signposted. But I tell you, Sheyi Tinubu is not the only politician's child moving around with police entourage. The list is long. And the question is, when you withdraw police protection from these people, they have other means of getting protection. There are private security groups springing up, and all of them, most of them are licensed, maybe not to carry guns, but to ward off, people, people who intruders and all of that. There could be a way around these things. But I'm interested in the people who are supposed to have the duty of securing the people as their center of responsibility. How do we make them feel the impact, live the way the common man is living, so much so that they are pressured to make the right moves?
I think that's one of the ways of trying to make them to feel what the common man feels, and then also live the way the common man lives. And just like we have said here, we're here to enlighten the public. I think we have different tiers of VIPs. You have tier 1, you have tier 2, you have tier 3, you have tier 4, you have also tier 5. When you talk about tier 1, VIPs, or what you call very important personalities, they have automatic and lifelong protection. These people have automatic and lifelong protection. They are under tier 1 VIPs. They serving president and vice president, and also members of their immediate families, like spouse, children, in fact, parents, and all that. So these are the tier 1. And sometimes former presidents and former vice presidents and their spouses. But that's where I think it's coming from, saying that if you go by virtue of Remuneration Act for former leaders, he's entitled to police protection. Why would you withdraw it? Law provides that I'm entitled to one. I'm a former vice president. But you give order going against the law. So I think Atiku should, at the same time, sue President Tinubu for such withdrawal.
So can we say that in as much as the president has a good intention, there is a possibility of an overreach?
That is what I'm saying. And I've pointed one. If you go by Police Act and also Remuneration Act for former leaders, vice president, former vice president, they're entitled because they also form part of tier 1 VIP. That is automatic and lifelong protection. If you talk about tier 2, they are Senate President, Deputy Speaker, Deputy, Speaker, House of Representatives, Speaker, Chief Justice of Nigeria, President of the Court of Appeal, governors, deputy governors, while in office. They are under tier 2. That is top constitutional office holders. They're entitled to police, SSS, outriders, siren, 8 to 20 convoys, and it is also protected under the Police Act and also State Security Act. So if you talk about tier 3, tier 3 has to do with ministers, secretary to the government of the federation, head of service of the federation, national security advisor, and other. They form under tier 3, that is senior public office holders, they are affected by this directive Mr. President has given because they are part of it. Then you talk about tier 4. Tier 4, that is justice of the Supreme Court. That justice is not the Chief Justice of the Federation, but justices of the Supreme Court and Court of Appeal, state chief judges. They are formed under tier 4. So they also giving police guard at palaces, escort for outing, but all this. But Mr. President have also taken note of that. And remember, under this tier, tier 4, you have, in fact, even some elected officials at the state level. But the president directive, just like I said earlier on, affects from tier 3 to tier 5. Tier 3 to tier 5. And, when you talk about tier 3 to tier 5, you know that outside governors, because governors, they come under tier 2. Just like I have explained before, with the Chief Justice of the Federation, the Senate President, they're all under tier 2. But under tier 3, members of the you talk about members of this court and all that. So in any case, these ones that we mentioned, apart from tier 1 and tier 2 that are protected by law, other ones like tier 3 is based on request. Tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 based on request. Tier 1 and 2 protected by law. So we have to explain these things. But the president is saying that most of you under tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 feel that it is served a la carte without even request. By virtue of the fact that you're a senator, by the virtue of the fact you're a minister, you are giving such sake. No, it must be on request. And he has said, if you make such request to the IGP, he directs it to me. I have to approve it. And sometimes it will not be police protection. It may be members of Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. That is the way he wants it.
Okay.
So, but where he has gone beyond his reach is the one of Atiku, because Atiku falls under tier 1.
All right. We have to switch gears now, get to the commercials, and then open the phone lines for you to call in. But we have to prompt two things. One is that former Anambra governor was arrested yesterday by the EFCC. Media aid confirmed that it wasn't abduction by unknown persons. Rather, EFCC arrested him to answer some questions on some things that are not made public at this point in time, because EFCC hasn't spoken about this. So it's in the media. If you check Daily Post, check Vanguard, check Premium Times, even these things are there. Then the issue of what has been brewing around our military jet that was detained in Burkina Faso. Federal government had been cleared. Those who were detained had been released, aircraft were released. But this very morning, it's been confirmed that the federal government, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, is trying to engage Burkina Faso in diplomatic talk to see how they are going to resolve things. So it appeared like the first thing was a cover story to see if they can douse tension and get things done. So I do not know whether government is actually trying to play on intelligence of Nigerians or just trying to manage this in the best possible way.
I think they're trying to manage this in the best possible way because Nigerians have sent, all manner of tirade against the government over what happened. And they descended on Nigerian government based on this. You are trying to do this and look at what they have got themselves into. But, they are trying to manage the situation just as the military have said that this and that have happened. But the true, state of things remains that nothing like that. Nigeria, just like you said, government through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has said that they want to engage with the government of Burkina Faso. I don't know where that would be, whether it's going to be at Ouagadougou, but they want to engage them in a diplomatic talk to ensure the release of the aircraft. But we are told that those personnel detained are being treated well. That's the report we got. But from the look of things and from the last, we actually tried to verify they have not been released. So, here we spread anything just to manage the situation, but it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So they're trying to manage the situation.
Okay, so let's go for this very commercial break. After it will be time for you to call in and express your thoughts on the issues we have raised this very morning. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Udala Radio 104.7 FM.
Your investment is just one drop On its own, it can only do so much. Now, imagine a million more drops. This is the power of First Asset Money Market Fund and First Asset Dollar Fund. They pool your money with others to create a powerful flow, giving you access to great earning opportunities. Call 0201-889-4444 now to start with 5,000 Naira, $100 or more. Let us build wealth together. The First Asset Money Market Fund and First Asset Dollar Fund are registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission Nigeria. Please read the prospectus and where in doubt, consult your investment advisor, stockbroker, fund or portfolio manager, accountant, banker, solicitor, or any other professional advisor for guidance before subscribing.
From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Anambra, the rhythm returns home. This December 28th, Oka will breathe in rhythm and shine in gold. Lagos Jump Off 3.0, the homecoming edition, featuring Annie Dons Onyetaka, Ilblaze Jarek, Mr. Raw, Slow Dog, Charles Okocha, PB Ninja, Ivata, Diamond Okechi, Eaglet Davidson, Casey Kubana, MC Monica, Abwefi I Go Talk, Slim Sherry, Waga, Ejai Kwamba, Go to Onitsha, Hype Man Extraordinary, Harry B, Hype AO Machine, DJ Fresh Omen, DJ Alonso, DJ Spin Daddy, DJ Factor, DJ Fabuloso, VVIP table 3 million naira, VIP table 2 million naira, regular table 1 million naira, cocktail table 300,000 naira, standalone or walking guest 150,000 naira. For reservation and inquiries, do call 0913-484-4336 or +1970-258-0990. Lagos Jump Off 3.0, the homecoming, December 28th, Anambra State. This event is proudly packaged by CNM Entertainment. Be there.
Quality bread, Wendy's bread, for your family breakfast. Wendy's bread, I'll pack it and it was yellow. Wendy's bread, mama, papa, they like Wendy's bread, kitchen and do. Wendy's bread, even children, they like Wendy's bread, Wendy's bread, and in town. Wendy's bread, you get it better, tasty, we go sweet your belly. Wendy's bread, Wendy's your battery choma. Wendy's bread,
Wendy's bread, tasty bread. You can contact us on our official address, Second Business Park, Enugu Road, GRA, beside Onitsha, Anambra State. We also have another branch at St. Michael Plaza at Tani Road. Also contact us on 070-1149-1571. Wendy's bread, your tasty bread.
Wendy's bread.
Hello, my brother.
Hello, bro. How far now?
Adele, waiting this up now.
Now my tenants, they won't finish me. They don't pay rent. Wahala every day. Papa, the way you get supposed to give me joy. You don't want wahala.
Yeah, my brother. You need to upgrade to A sharply.
Guy, another agent I beg, I don't want. Agent that they wahala na 5 and 6.
True. You never try Assoja Assets now. The best from in property management. See, since I carry my houses, give them. Nah, so I they enjoy peace of mind like this. Them they handle rent collection, tenant screening, maintenance, everything. I just they relax, they watch my investment, they grow like this.
You know me now. You mean I avoid all these shifting with tenants?
Now, correct. Assoja Assets go manage all your property worries. Them they professional, transparent, and reliable.
My friend, will you get out? Now see finish the cost of this nonsense. No worry. As we just said they come. When I go soon here out.
Why stress when Assoja Assets will run up for you? For property management, tenant services, and real estate solutions, call Assoja Assets today on 0904-0422-240 or 0906-8205-058 or visit our office at number 8 Niger Drive, GRA Onitsha, Anambra State. Forget your from house agents and trust the experts at Assoja Assets for your peace of mind. Assoja Assets, managing property, multiplying value.
Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
You're listening to The Polity. Get involved now.
Okay, so thank you for staying tuned to the Radio 104.7 FM. It's now 10:35 a.m. and we're ready for us to open the full lines for you to join this very conversation. My name is Franklin and Chisom, Olisa Mbeki and Chisom. They are seated here, so all of us are going to listen to you when you're calling. Please take 1 minute, make your submission, and drop your call. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. Good morning.
Thank you, Franklin. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
This is Monday Johnson. This is Ebuka Franklin and Chisom. Good morning.
You're welcome.
Please, I don't know. Because Ebuka, when you were asking, the police act, you mentioned certain names. That police act capture the people that should be under police protection. And in that police act, you also quoted to give also space to private citizens to apply for it, and they have it, and the police protection. Now I want to ask you, Mr. Speaker, this is existing law, and what we have about DIP, order that has been issued by the President to withdraw police protection from them is just an ordinary decree or order coming from the President. Is it right or lawful for a decree or order coming from the President to actually out where the constitutional provision? That is number one. Number two, I want to know, please, if the office of the first son in Nigeria has been legalized. Because most times, I've seen his convoy in one of the videos. There is this coat of arms in his convoy. I've also seen him, chairing a particular meeting, and his seat is also decorated with coat of arms. I know this as a symbol of authority in Nigeria. Then I want to ask, is that office of first son legalized in Nigeria? I wanted to ask the third one, but I don't know whether Frank will give me the time to ask.
All right, your time is up. So let's address this very two that you have asked. I thank you for understanding. All right, thank you, Mother Johnson. So your question has been noted. It's going to be attended to. Good morning.
Good morning, Frank.
Yes, your name?
Good morning, Dr.
You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Good morning.
Henry, my name. From Onitsha here.
Go on, Henry.
Yes, insecurity. I want to come on in this manner. You know, our fathers will say, the proverb will say, the fowl, left the night and had its throat, which opened, and is right inside the pot, bending its neck against the pot. What am I saying here? We have been, acquainted with the supply chain of these terrorists. Okay? We have known about that. And we haven't, been serious enough to do something about that so that insecurity will stop. We know about the supply chain. Yes, there are people that give them arms and the other logistics that sustain them to constitute, to continue with this mayhem in the society. Yes, that is what is called the multi-chain theory. And any known economics, is a conversation with that. And it says, Charmos of 1834, an English economics.
So, Henry, please try to manage your time very well, please.
Yes. Charmos says the population explosion of any society can only be checked by the limits of its subsistence level. Simply put, if you want the population of any society to start coming down or to go into extinction, you cut down on the means of their livelihood. So why not crack down on the supply chain of these terrorists? And insecurity will stop.
All right,
Let
thank
us
you.
Just stop everything about the bush.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we've got the punchline. Thank you for joining. Good morning. Okay, try again. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Frank.
Yes, good morning. Your name?
Good morning, Tony and Chisom.
Good morning.
This is a caller from Trade.
Go on, sir.
Thank you. Now, I think the last caller has done justice to whatever that is happening within
withdrawals of personnel from the ITs because there is fire on the mountain, and that fire is known as terrorism. You as a country, as a president, cannot stop the terrorism in your country, and you went to send your troops to another man's country, interfering, and then from that another man's country, we up to Burkina Faso, a country that is on their own, and they are, even though they are in on a military regime, they are not suffering as we are suffering here. They don't even suffer to call the.
Are you still there? Okay. I think you have to call back because we lost communication with you. Thank you for understanding that. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, very good morning to you.
Yes, welcome on board.
You're welcome.
Good morning to you. This is Chibi Chukuma, joining you from Bo.
Go on, sir.
Yes, talking of this withdrawal of police protection from the VIT. It is not all that good to just totally withdraw the police from them. Because we talk of the personality and the life of the personalities, the security for them and for their property too. Because all hands are not equal. We have people who cannot break from one pole to the other without protection. So many people are waiting for the criminal element either to adopt them, even to kill. So there are people that need this protection. Everything about governance doesn't work on impulse. And the Mr. President has been known for that. He just wake up and announce that there is no longer this thing. And the economic problem started for Nigeria when he announced the withdrawal of this, what do you call it again? Yes, and there's so many things that he has just wake up to say without a proper arrangement for that. If you ask me, I will say that what they need is to reduce the number. In a particular occasion I attended, I saw up to 12 policemen attached to a particular woman. I don't want to mention the name of the husband. He's a very, very rich man. Up to 12 police for one woman in a particular occasion. And that is too much.
All right.
Why
Noted.
not give her up about 3 policemen? It's okay for them. If you need more, then you can arrange local security to attach to them.
All right.
Instead of
Thank
denying
you.
people this thing.
Thank you.
And then there is no other.
Thank you. Please try to manage your time very well. Hello, good morning.
Thank you very much, Frank. Once again, I called because I was part of my so-called network.
Okay, your name is?
Until now, it is from Treasury.
Okay, please quickly round off.
Okay. Now, I don't see the reason. Even America actually is coming to against the terrorists in order to put security guarantee in the country. And you are refusing, sending delegates. You know that when they can people here themselves and start having their meetings with them in rooms, not in public. Now, I will guarantee that our own security department, the citizenry that are applied to take control and to at least to make sure that they are not be hurt by enemies. With no control, we are not going to care for us. That is why we are being kidding here and there. And you are not even care about it, and you could just our down. And I want to say that there is a reason of fleeing to Burkina Faso and lied that you are putting called the aircraft is going to Portugal. I need to say to government of this country. It's become a normal that we have to count with our own peace right now, not tomorrow. We have to rise against the system. We have to rise.
All right. Thank you.
Get it wrong. Our lives are not represented. And people are continuously on very basis.
All right.
What is happening in our room.
Thank you.
Money.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good morning. Okay. We are live on our Facebook page, Udala Radio 104.7 FM. We are going to acknowledge your post on that platform very soon. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome on board.
Good morning. Good morning, my lady. Good morning. Tony.
You're welcome.
Odungada. Good morning.
You're welcome.
Now I was trying the word to qualify what we've been doing. My name is undergrad. 4 6 days. That's the one I've been using. Please, if I use it wrong, correct me. 4 6 days. Absolutely 4 6 days. We are unacceptable. We don't have any data. So we are talking about security. People who are supposed to be assigned to security officers. How many security officers do we have? As of my last counting, we have over 20. All of them should be attached to one president, from what I understand. This is what we are doing. Now we say officially we got 400,000 uniform policemen, so to speak. That's over 240 million people in our country. We must think the government must sit down. Data is important. We don't even know how many we are in the country. We don't know how many schools we have, how many hospitals we have, how many people die every day. We don't have that. Yeah. So sometimes we begin to wonder, where are we getting figures from? We just wake up, cook it up. And today we are 240. By next week we are going to be 260 million. Come on, Nigerians. This is 201. Yeah. Huh? Let's wake up. God help us.
Right.
Have a blessed day.
All right, thank you. So we're going to go to our Facebook page, and guess what? Because it seems like this season is for the senators to lament. Yesterday, I heard Senator Webon, lamenting that he told his aide to get in ticket for travel from Abuja to the southeast, and he was told that it costs about 500,000 for a one-way ticket for him to come to the east. So let's go to our Facebook page and see what is happening there.
Do you want to hear what I want to say?
Say something.
Now you want to fly business class. Economy will cost him less. Let's go to Facebook. Come on,
you want a big man to mix up with the common man.
Oh, well, yes. Yes, he should. They should start learning to do that. Greed and avarice are the root causes of all these defections. Without opposition, democracy is meaningless. We are in a serious trouble in this country. A situation where a ruling party tries to silence and destroy opposition, pushing the nation to a one-party state. It becomes dictatorship and no longer democracy. Shall we just be watching these people destroy a hard-earned democracy? These people do not understand the implications of what they are pushing us into. All right, danger is looming. Anthony Umera, good morning to you. You're watching all the way from Zamfara State. That's really refreshing to know. Master Bay, SJP, it is very necessary to withdraw police officers from Nigeria VIP to enable Nigeria police maintain law and order and all their primary duty, then abandon their primary duties to become errand boys. Kudos to Mr. President. You're watching live from Onitsha. Ezechi Gozuri, good morning to you, Adlin. Thank you for joining us. Arinze E.G. from Igbariam Farm Settlement. He says, Mr. President has been hammering on withdrawal of security personnel from those big men that their lives matter, not yours. But his Prince Sheyi is moving with more than 50 police and military men. Thank God I am a poor man, sleeping with both eyes closed. Are you sure you're sleeping with both eyes closed? Haven't you had issues with killer herders in farm settlements in different parts of the country? Maybe not exactly in yours, but farmers in Benue cannot sleep with their eyes closed. They are not rich. They're not influential. Their biggest crime is being Nigerian. Students in Niger State couldn't even go to school and learn in peace because they are Nigerians. It's really sad. And where Chikwadurum says, on the part of Mr. President withdrawing policemen from VIPs, It is very important, but I will not be happy, appreciate him until I see that happening. Okay. Amadi McDon Mike says that it will be very nice to withdraw the police officers from VIPs. Let them feel what the poor ones are feeling. What about Sheyi's VIP officers? I hope they are included. Gregory Thaddeus says withdrawal of special protection from VIP is a welcome idea. It will make them understand what the common masses have been passing through, and they will quickly implement the state police and even local government policing. Chike Chinonso, good morning to you from Obunike City, man. He says that on the issue of police orderlies, all our politicians need to do is to stop the insecurity in the country. There will be no need for them to move around with escorts. Secure the people and you'll be secure. Agoti Lokoye, withdrawal of security operatives from VIP is a good news. But what next after that? Let the president assure maximum secret. I think you mean to say security to everyone, not only VIPs. Those are the comments we have on Facebook.
Okay. So let's get to the questions we have hanging. The questions asked by, I think that should be Monday Johnson. 2 questions. Can you still remember? Or I should refresh your mind about the questions. Okay, so he asked the very first one, how the pronouncement of Mr. President came into be, whether by virtue of just an order and a pronouncement or decree. And he was asking if such pronouncement or if such decision of the president can just be brought into life by virtue of making a pronouncement and giving an order.
I think Mr. President could have given an executive order, not by mere pronouncement. I understand where it's coming from, but remember, police is an offshoot of the executive. So he feels that since I can talk to police, what's the sense of giving executive order? But the executive order is to make it to carry some level of legal weight, more like, but it can be challenging courts, just like I said. Yes, he can give any order. He's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Police is not even a member of the armed forces, but he's an offshoot of the executive. So he commands them. So he can instruct the Inspector General of Police to do anything he wants, because police is not independent. Had it been police is independent, then this issue or this question will come in. I was actually telling somebody, was it 2 days ago, that the Chancellor of Esquire in UK cannot spend money based on the instruction given to him by the Prime Minister. He cannot. If the Prime Minister calls him, it's the Prime Minister that appoints him from members of his party, gives him that role, but he cannot spend money by mere instruction. The money must be budgeted. It must come under spending rule. It can't, here in Nigeria, the president can wake up and call the accountant general of the federation or minister of finance, prepare for this, get this, give me this amount. It doesn't work there.
So he has a second question, which is, he was asking about if we have anything like the office of the first son in Nigeria, because according to him, he sees Sheyi Tinubu making use of presidential paraphernalia. According to him, he saw in a video where the seat he was sitting on, the seat had the coat of arms on that version, and he wants an answer to the question.
There is nothing like office of the,
first
son. There is nothing like office of the first lady. All these things are just mere tradition. Under our law, there is nothing like office of the first lady. And it is not expected to appropriate state funds to such office. It is illegal, just like I said, because anybody, the president, the governor can instruct the accountant of the state to do this and they get it done. If they don't do it, they get sacked. But it's not done that way. I said their democracy is democracy of accountability. By our own is democracy of privilege. Nothing like that office. But I've said it many times. Even Donald Trump's son, I know Barron, I know Eric, both of them enjoy police protection. And I think there's another son of Donald Trump. They all enjoy police protection.
Do they move the way that our politicians' children move around here? It's one thing to have police protection. It's another thing to have flamboyant
that is just
police protection.
I understand that. Remember, I said Cheyi is entitled to police protection, but he's not entitled to orderly. Orderly, there are those who can also serve you. They are more like you are servant in uniform. But remember, it was abolished by 2025 directives. So orderlies are meant for the VIP, the president, and the vice president. Orderlies can carry a handbag. Orderlies can, do some domestic work for you. That is police orderly. So from the word, order, orderly, taking order, something like that. But he's not entitled to police order, just like I said, but he's entitled to police protection because he's also a member of the first family. By the virtue of the fact that the protective units within his father's paraphernalia can as well extend to him, but he is not entitled to move around with the state facilities, state convoy, where you have over 20 or 30 policemen, over 20 convoy. It is irrational. It is irrational. He is entitled protection as the son or the son of the president, but not in a flamboyant way as you mentioned, but at the same time not to move around with a convoy and place a coat of arm. Anybody can have a coat of arm. I don't have, but you can even put Nigerian flag on your dashboard, but that's not the issue. The issue is that no office of the first son, no office of the first lady, he is not entitled to oddly. The wife of the president may or may not be, depending on our law, but that's the way it is.
Okay, so we have to leave because we have gotten to our destination. Now, quickly, what is happening to former Anambra governor? Because this issue with the EFCC just came some days after his convoy was attacked by unknown gunmen somewhere in Anambra State.
It is fate. One thing is he's remembered. I know very well he's not or he has not been on the same page with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and you can recall that he's never shown support to him, and I'm aware that his trial, what is going on, it could be political. Yes, we are told he was abducted yesterday in Abuja, only for us to understand that he was arrested by the EFCC. His travel could be political. It could be political. I don't know. Yeah, he was once with Tinubu in 2011. He contested. He won senatorial election under ACN, and ACN was the party Tinubu put together, and Tinubu ceded that senatorial slot to him, where he won the late Akunyili. We followed that election, keenly contested after the first round. Then the second round, remember, Akunyili was backed by P2B, the then governor, and we thought that she could have a field day, but they gave Akunyili the run of her money. But the truth, remember, they were together then. But over time, the James Falake, when he was having a banter or a brawl with Falake, he told Falake, even your master, to go and tell your master. Those days in Lagos, I'm a Lagos boy. Those comments. I don't know what has gone wrong, but over the time, their relationship has broken. I don't know. Probably what is going through. It could be political.
So, Sammy?
All I have to say is that we need a mechanism put in place where we don't have politicians doing stuff while in office, and then the checking and the balancing happens after they have left office. We need to run a democracy of accountability on the go, and not after things have spoiled. Imagine coming to cry after spilled milk. As far as I'm concerned, the EFCC is there to cry over spilled milk when we could prevent the milk from spilling in the first place.
So on that very note, we thank every one of you for joining to this conversation. And tomorrow is Friday. Of course, we're going to be here
Friday.
And do Justice Sunday edition.
Absolutely.
For those who are saying thank God it's Friday, you know what it is for them?
Weekend we go sweet. Now Thursday they did take no. See you on the cherry box.
Oh, if you're Malone. My name is Franklin and Ebuka. Good morning. Thank you for listening.
104.7 Udala Radio.
When the city sleeps, the river remembers. When the drums call, Onitsha awakens.